Hey, happy Halloween everyone. To celebrate today I've got a new world deep dive, and of course it's the setting for the nightmare part of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween Town from KH1. Let's get exploring. So here we are, starting in the Guillotine Gate area. Now the thing with Halloween Town is it's quite a condensed world. There's a lot of small rooms, and there's also a world where you can see a lot of rooms from other rooms, which is interesting. Right behind us here we have one of the lamps. We can see it embedded into the ground there, that pumpkin, and then a little pumpkin, and then a pumpkin with a light in it on top. And we can look up and you can see, you might notice this screen effect going on here with the smoke, the sort of misty look. Yeah, this is actually just overlaid on your screen. As you can see, when I go up and move it around, it kind of changes and shifts. So while you do have the background, you also have this fog effect just constantly on the screen, kind of like the one I showed in Agrabah, which was a heat effect. And we can talk to these NPCs. This is where they live once you finish the world. We have the mayor here, of course, and here's the backside of him with the sad face. And it's also nice just to look at Sora's Halloween Town costume. You know, I think it's a really nicely designed costume. Over here we have the three kids as well, and they have a few things to say. Not a whole lot, obviously, in this room. We've got these little markers, gravestones or whatever they are. I guess they're just like pillars with different designs on them. Kind of nice. This one here is a cat. Oh yeah, and here's where Zero pops out once you finish the world. Pops out here instead. And there's his little pumpkin glowing nose. Isn't that nice? Okay, out in Guillotine Square, the main Halloween Town square, of course. Looking, you know, fairly similar to the movie. A little bit different, obviously. It's not exactly the same. But I kind of like it. I like the multi-tiered design. This one doesn't have any traps or anything. See the fountain here. In Kingdom Hearts 2, there's little traps and things, which I do quite like. But here they're just static. They don't do any of that. And there's the town hall, classic thing from the film, of course. And yeah, it's just kind of cool, this little area. And I like that there are some little bits you can explore up here. You can see that's where you can get into. I'll show that in a second, obviously. Here we have Jack's house. And of course we have... Oh, can you jump on there? Oh, I don't think you can jump on there. Oh, that's a shame. It'd be fun if you could jump on there. But yeah, we have the doorbell, of course. You use this for a puzzle. You just got to ring it 3 times. You get an elixir. That's nice. And it's the same sound effect, but it's the same thing that happens in the movie. And there's an eye on the door, because of course. From up here we can get a pretty good vantage point actually and have a look over the square. We can also look at the skybox. The main square is kind of weird in this game because it's got this black going into red on horizon skybox. When you think of Halloween Town, you think of mostly kind of like a black and grey, which some of this world also has. This world has like 3 different skyboxes. But this red one's very... It's more spooky than any other in the world, I think, or even definitely more than KH2's version. It really adds something quite interesting to it. Over here's a little spooky well. This little thing, I can't see what that says. It must be something from the film, right? But I can't... someone have to remind me what that says. And here we have this little wall decoration with pumpkins and these pumpkin lights that shine up onto it. That's such a small little detail I quite like. It's just like they went to the effort. I mean, look at the amount of pumpkins they designed for this place. Can we just talk about that? Like, we got these big ones here as well. There's so many different pumpkin assets here. It's great. Here's the guillotine. Again, the KH2 version traps you and hits you when you go under it. Slides down onto you. But here we can just stand under it completely fine, you know. Completely safe idea, Sora. Well done. Now up there, of course, this is where we can get to if we jump up. So I'll just do that quickly. Up we go. And yeah, now we can get a really nice view actually. And of course over here we just glide quickly over to this, and this is where there's a couple of chests for you to get as well. Nice little bit of platforming here. Not too much in this world in terms of platforming until kind of the end. But I did like that little one bit there. That's actually not completely obvious. Let's go into one of the most pointless rooms that exists in this game, the lab entryway. It's so small and pointless. But here's, of course, Finkelstein's lab. It's a bit weird because the top's blown off, like the usual dome shape. Of course, at the start of the world, it gets blown off because of his experiments, so that's why. And up here we have, on the left and right of us, we have these little electrical bulbs, little light bulbs. It's pretty cool. But otherwise, this is such a random room. Like, does it need to be a separate room? I don't know. They probably had a reason for doing it this way, but I don't know what it is. And of course, here we are inside the lab. This is a place you spend a lot of time in both this game and the second game, actually. More time than you'd actually expect. Oh, you having trouble there, Donald? Yeah, we have here, of course, some various equipment and tubes and liquid in there. We have Finkelstein here. And here's his book. There's a couple of interesting things. I mean, there's like skeleton inside a person there. At the top left, we can see Christmas presents and a stocking and a Christmas tree. And then up there, we can see the reindeer, the bone reindeer that he makes. And there's even a burnt bit of the page. And down here we got some more stuff, like just some more experiment looking stuff and words that you can't actually read. Over here we have some more little bits and bobs, some more equipment, a flask, you know, a random tin. This place is very, very metal though. Look at this like corrugated iron look. And here's every goth's favourite couple with Jack and Sally. And Jack's one of the weird ones here. We can actually like talk to him and just get him to come with us. He's not with you by default. You talk to him first, so there's that. Now if I replace you, Jack, you're going to get in my way even more than Goofy, aren't you? Well, we see how it goes. And there's a close-up look of Sally, and there's Jack, of course. Here we have a bookshelf. Nothing you can really read on here or look at. This is where you get a torn page though as well. It's cool, isn't it? Hiding, you know, a torn page in an actual bookshelf rather than it just being in the chest or whatever, you know. Do quite like that. I wish they'd do that more. See, look, why can't we just glide straight over? Why do we have to go through a room transition? I don't know. Here's a variant of the town square as well, of course, with the Ghost Heartless here. When they don't actually attack you, one of those rare moments. And also we have the soft version of the theme playing. This is just the little bit at the start where it plays until the cutscene where Jack appears. And now we have another configuration of the ghosts after the music changes to the more recognisable Halloween Town theme. Here we have the other ghosts. Well, they're the same ghosts, but they've moved out and to different locations, ready to attack us once we come back out. And also here's the lab with a ghost on the table if you want to see that too. And now we're entering the various graveyard areas. So here we have, well, the graveyard itself. Quite a small little area again, a lot of Heartless that spawn in here though. And if you look back, you can see it actually doesn't really lead anywhere, it's just emptiness. And this whole world is very much, it's weird, it's got this vibe, it's small little condensed areas with just a whole load of emptiness around them, especially these graveyard parts. It's quite creepy, I mean, I'll give them that. And to be fair, like, in the movie you can see everything's quite isolated on these big fields of nothingness, so yeah, it's pretty accurate as well. Of course we have here the thing you can lift up with fire, and you can get that moving if you want a quick journey over to the hill. That doesn't appear when you're going through here for the first time. It's only after you finish the world that seems to appear. And this is just an interesting little mechanic here we have with trying to get to another area. We just jump through the coffin. So of course it's, again, something from the film, because if you remember that Jack, he goes through that in the human graveyard to get back to Halloween Town, so he knows how to do that. Here we are in the boneyard, and you can see over there's a cemetery. That's a little hidden area we can get to. So these two are actually connected to each other. But this one's called Boneyard, and it's got this camera forcing moment. This is where you have to hit the right tombstone that the ghosts come out of. And it really forces your camera here. Like, you can't move it once it's forced it. It's quite strange. There's a little spooky skeleton hanging on a tree there. Doesn't quite look as good as Jack, does he? We have some various tombstones, and here's like a cat. Looks like a cat. And that's obviously the way that leads to the Curly Hill, or the Moonlight Hill as they call it in this game. Oh, did you hear the laugh then? That laugh's quite creepy, isn't it? And yeah, we got more gravestones and little bits and bobs here, and you even, I like this, you can just see through these bars out into the moon and the fields. And wait, what the heck? What is that little thing? There's a little thing down there, like just there. There's just a little tiny little popping out bit. I don't know if anyone can see that. That's really random. I have not noticed that before. What is that? Okay, that's I can't see any more of them either. It's just that one. Huh. Must be something sticking through the terrain or something. That's interesting. I'm sure if you did like went outside the map or used tools to get outside the map, you could see what that is, but I'd rather not do that in these videos. Oh, we've got some mushrooms to get rid of. Alright, we came out, and here's the way we came out of course, this kind of tombstone looking thing with an umbrella over it for some reason. And yeah, this place is, I like it more than KH2's version because there's just a little bit more here, I guess, just a little bit more detail. We've got all these pumpkins, of course, scattered about. We've got these interactable pumpkins. You can pick these up and throw them, and they actually stun you, damage you, and heartless as well. So you can use that if you really want. Here we have, of course, this going back to where we were before. And this place is attached to that graveyard that we're in. And it's also attached to the bridge area, which I'll show you in a second. As you see, the little spark on the pumpkin there before it went off. We have these ones embedded into these gravestones, kind of like the ones embedded in the fence. Like there's one over there, some over here embedded into the fence, like at the start of Nightmare Before Christmas and the This Is Halloween song. And of course we have the Curly Hill itself, and yeah, I had to walk up this, you know, from this angle. It had to be done. I couldn't not do it. It did take a few tries, but here we go, like we managed it this time. And I guess Donald's lagging behind because he's not here. And yeah, we get a nice big view up here, so you can see the skybox here is much more black and grey as you'd expect. And there's the bridge area. Again, that's connected to here. We just kind of go through a transition. And then when we interact with this random little tombstone thing here, it makes the curly hill do its stretching out animation, and then we can go up to here. As you can see, it actually just teleports us here, whereas the first time we do that, we walk along it and down, does the animation, but this time it just doesn't bother. Of course, before we leave the hill, we've got to go through this door here. It kind of looks like a Christmas tree, but when we go through here, we get to the cemetery. And this place is just full of chests, you know, little chests you can get. It's just like a hidden room with some extra chests you can get, easy to do. I think you can't do it when you go through the world, because I think you just can't interact with that door, but when you come back here, you can do it. Just giving you more incentive to explore, I guess. And we got all sorts of designs here. We've got the Halloween Town skull. They model a lot of the skulls based on that first one you see in the film from the opening bit. This guy with very, very long legs. Look at him. And we got spidery things, of course. This one which is kind of hanging off of the tree but has steps going up to it. This one which is very obviously snake themed. It looks a lot like some of the stuff you see in the film as well. You've got a snake on either side. And this one which is kind of like a wolf thing. And yeah, there's you can look across to the boneyard over there, so kind of cool. I like that you could see over to here from there and you can think, oh, there's something over there, how do I get there, you know? But you know, I can't see the little thingy. I don't know if it's just because of the angle, I can't quite see it, but was I imagining things? I'm sure there's a little thingy there. I can't see it from this side. Okay, the bridge area now, and not much here to be honest. We have another way to get back, of course, because you can't go back across the hill, so you can light this and you can get back. And, you know, I suppose we better check. You know, can you use Blizzard on these? I'd hope so, since it's an interactable thing. And yeah, of course you can. But down here we have the river, the murky green water. We have this, you know, Halloween Town looking aesthetic with the grate there going into the sewer. Back there we can get to Guillotine Square, so there's a nice quick way back. Fairly good interconnectivity here, I gotta say. Not like amazing. It's not like Wonderland or something. It's not that interesting, but it's good at least that it's quite quick. It's not really that big a world, so making you go through the same sort of rooms over and over again would be a bit annoying. Would have been kind of cool if you could maybe see Halloween Town up on the hill that you see in the start of the film, but oh, okay, it's fine. I guess we better go into the Manor ruins now. So this is the last area, and this is a big area. Like, and when you look back, you see there's a sort of path leading back to where he might have come from there. Not exactly a completely direct connection. There's the moon. And I gotta say the moon's looking kind of oddly shaped here, isn't it? Interesting shape. And yeah, the skybox here is actually purple, so we got a different skybox again. I quite like the look of this place though. And it's just so vast. It's one of the biggest areas in this game. It's just huge. Of course it's pretty empty when the manor's gone. But I'll be showing the manor in a second, so don't worry about that. But it's just really fun to just glide around. Like, we can just glide around this whole place. Pretty freeing, especially with Super Glide. And there's Jack down there. Just notice him walking. He looks like he's like, Sora, what are you doing? Alright, better go down to the ground now. Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of the Chimera, damn it. Alright, I got rid of the Chimera. That's actually one of the few secret Heartless in this game I actually like. And here we have the river again. This just kind of goes out of nowhere here. We can't get in or see anything in there. It's just black void. And scattered around this place we have rocks and remnants. This here is the remnant of the evil playroom from the top of the manor, so I'll show you that obviously when we get there. And you can't get inside, unfortunately, but you can get on top and you can kind of jump into this little bit, and you can see the weird sort of very 2D looking sides to this. And yeah, we've just got these rocks scattered about the place, just remnants of the manor, I guess. And right here we have the little inset bit with the guillotine. This is where chests appear. If you didn't get any chests on the manor, then when it gets destroyed, they will just appear here, which is quite nice, so you can't miss anything. And I like that when you go to certain angles, it kind of disappears. You can, if you know it's there, you can see it, but if you don't know it's there, you might not realize it's there until you actually get the right angle. That's quite cool little perspective thing. And of course we can glide through here. This will take us back to the bridge somehow. I don't know how it works, but I assume we went uphill and then downhill again or something like that. Don't know how we fit through those bars either, but it's okay. And then when we go through this hole, we get back to the Guillotine Square, of course. And there you go. We end up somehow flying down here instead. I don't know, we could have come out the fountain, but I guess the fountain's just its own thing, so we wouldn't do that. But we just end up teleporting and falling down. I don't know how that works, but somehow it works. Okay, now I've gone back in time and we're here at Oogie's Manor when it actually exists. As we can see here, we have the whole rope bridge going across, and just look at this place. It's crazy. It's just absolutely wild. It makes no sense, and I love it. Like, it's a really great little platforming challenge at the end. I do quite like it. It's a shame it does get destroyed. As cool as the sort of open big area is. And here we have these gargoyles, which I quite like because they spawn on sections of the manor. And they just sort of sit there and wait for you, which I think is pretty cool. It's a really nice little detail to add in. And here we have the entrance, of course, but let's just have a quick look at the side bit here. So yeah, this, we can see that this obviously leads somewhere. But when we go through here, we end up down at the bottom. This is where you need to get to the Oogie Boogie boss. But of course, we have to go up and use the mechanism first. We have a skull, that's pretty cool. And you can kind of see how we like go up and down that pipe there when we go through. So we go down the pipe or up the pipe. That's quite nice, and obviously a nod to the film again. Here's Oogie's torture chamber, which I quite like. This is interesting because it says shut tight, but it says it as if it's the room name. I don't know if that's the only time you see one like that. Rather than it being the examine, it's actually the room name is showing up as shut tight. So you could argue there's a room called shut tight in the game. But yeah, not much you can see in here, it's just the black void, and obviously we go through there, up the pipe, spit ourselves back out here. Or you could just, you know, jump down, and if we go right down to the bottom, wow, I gotta get rid of these white knights. So the bottom's quite interesting because obviously this isn't the version that we see once we finish this world, and there's actually these pumpkins over here. So that's kind of nice, there's just some random pumpkins that don't appear after this. So there's a little detail. I kind of forgot these were here, to be honest, because I haven't come down to the bottom of this area when the manor's here in quite a long time. Can't jump into the bathtub ourselves, unfortunately, but of course we can use it to climb up and get back to the entrance. Or we could just let it push us along. That's a really good shot, I might use that for a thumbnail. Here we have the entrance with these demonic kind of looking animal heads. And, you know, I think... I like to try and explore and platform a little bit here. So let's just have a look over here first. So we can jump over to there with a keyblade hit, that's kind of nice. Of course the keyblade hit is always very useful for platforming in this game when you don't have glide. And we can get over to here. Oh, hey, this is nice. So we can just jump straight up there. Huh, that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever done that before. Alright, and here we have the proper way of getting up, of course. We just light this on fire. Yeah, another one of these things. Here's a little chest. There's a little coffin door kind of thing. And, oh, that's strange, opening from the other side. Just clips through him, that's funny. Never seen that. Yeah, let's actually go up here. Start ascending the manor, I guess. And yeah, there's this whole twisted place with all the sort of tree-looking elements to it, like tree trunks and branches and the rocks, obviously. Random little buildings off to the side. We keep going round and up, and you can see plenty of ways to fall down, so you've got to be careful, especially fighting things here. Here's some big old nasty looking rusty chains. That's pretty cool. There's a little bit we can probably jump onto, yep. And that hole there, which we can now see isn't really a hole, it's just painted black. Another little bit there we can jump onto. I'm going to do it because I have to. I know I'm going to have to come back up again, but you know, why not? So, you know, I just realised something. Instead of just jumping straight to here, we can probably jump up, right? Oh yeah, so you can just get straight to here actually. There's a really nice shortcut, huh? So yeah, you can just jump up to here. Very easy, very nice. Here we have a set of steps, of course. There's a little hole that doesn't really lead anywhere, but screws up the camera when we go in. Up the steps we have this castle, like battlement looking thing, kind of destroyed. Can't unfortunately get into this thing. It'd be kind of cool if there was a chest in there or something, if we could sneak our way in, but no. Can get on top of it, and of course if you do that we can get over to here. And there's one over there that we can't quite seem to get to without any glide or something. It's just hanging off the branch there, but we can get there. I'll show that obviously when we can do it. And see the gargoyle on the branch. That's just really cool. That's just such a cool way to add the Heartless here.
Here I come!
And right at the top here we have the evil playroom. As you can see, this is that thing we saw at the bottom in the destroyed version. We have these horrible bones wiggling around here. It's a bit disturbing, and it looks very, very small, doesn't it? It doesn't really look like it fits what's actually inside. And there's the very top of the manor, that castle battlement thing there. I guess we're heading to the evil playroom. Alright, that was Lock, Shock and Barrow, and this place is actually full of little tiny details. It's quite cool. So we have these little grates, which of course make a different noise when you run over those. We have on the wall here, we got some plungers and this sparrow thing, a bear trap, and then we have these masks pinned onto the wall. They're all like fish drawings, like fish skeleton looking things. I assume that's what they are. On the right of Shock here we have the cart thing that they use with the big duck in it. We have a curtain here which we can't see behind, unfortunately. The Halloween Town skull there and some random splatters. and a big, like, kind of looks like a tiki mask kind of thing with candles on it. But that's what they, I assume that's what they send things down to Oogie with, right? I'd have to check that. Yeah, I checked in the song, and that is indeed the thing that they send Oogie stuff down through the pipe like Santa Claus. So yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of details in here that are based on the stuff in the film that you see in their room. I quite like that. And I quite like the chandelier here made out of the bones. That's very creepy, like light and then all the different limb bones hanging off it. That's quite cool. And yeah, a bag of skulls too. Alright, we're going to make our way back down, and as you might be able to see here, one of these things has moved down. One of these, I'm not sure what to call them, like these cages, I guess. Yeah, they're cages. One of these has moved down because of the mechanism, so now we can actually go in and get this chest. So that's pretty cool. Alright, now we need to go into the torture chamber, and I know what you're thinking. Nova, why didn't you just use the end of the world version? Like, you can freely explore there. Yes, that's true, but I also said about the Colosseum one that I would leave all the end of the world versions to end of the world, since that's where they are in the world space. So I'm going to sacrifice and do this through the boss, but it's okay because, you know, we can see some other elements of this room anyway. We can see it in action. And yeah, we can see on the floor we have spades, diamond, heart, clubs, and a fifth suit, which is skull, apparently. There's a new fifth suit of cards. Now when these light up, of course, this is when we can trap Oogie and get some hits on him. And we get these iron bars come up, and yep, here we go. And up here, there's the door we can't escape though. And just little things on the floor that, you know, that match up with the colour so you know which one you're doing. And he pushes us back off. We can have a look around. We've got the blades up there that come down, of course. There's the dice. Quick look at those with the skulls. Pumpkins everywhere because this whole world, you just don't go anywhere without seeing pumpkins. And yeah, the floor designs are kind of cool, and the middle rotating thing with the different colours. And here's the sheriff western guys that come out and shoot you with their slot machines in the middle. And the buzzsaw, of course. And here he's using the healing machine. He went the long way around for some reason, but there's the healing machine in action. And that's all for this bit, really. We've got one more thing to show, and that's Giant Oogie when he kind of merges with his own mana. It's very random and very weird, but, you know, it's cool for a boss. And yeah, here it is. It's pretty intimidating, actually, isn't it? Just this huge Oogie just sort of standing there, and you can see all the bits from the rest of the mana. You can see over there the bones that are moving about. You can see his, like, kind of weird tentacle nature. Very strange. And yeah, nice thing about here, I guess, is that you can just leave. You can just leave if you don't want to do the boss right now. Just back to the bridge we go, you know. But I do want to do the boss now because I want to show it off. Alright, we're back into the boss, and yeah, I guess I'll just jump down and then kind of work up. All the way down we go. And so we can actually see that this area is the Manor Ruins area now. It's been converted because we've got all the rubble here. Just that it has this boss in the middle of it. We can see the evil playroom here. And over here, this is kind of interesting. You can see the little slit that leads to the chests there, but his, like, alright, hesitant to say foot, but his appendage here is blocking it. So we can't get into there. It's just kind of moving around. There's the doors that are way down. Like, this whole thing's a bit smaller. Those doors are now down here instead. It's kind of collapsed in on itself, but there's lots of different ways we can platform ourselves up to get to these globules. That's a nice word, isn't it, globules? I can jump down to this bit and roll across to here. There's a couple different ways you can get up to this area. I gotta say, it's kind of interesting, kind of unique that they've turned what was a platforming area into a platforming boss and kept some of the same stuff, but also changed it up. Like, you got to approach it a bit differently and you got to avoid hazards. I think it's kind of cool, even if the boss, it's not that good an actual boss battle, but I think it's quite nice still. It's better than the Jafar platforming challenge, I'd actually say. You can see now Oogie's holding one of these cages, which is actually a torch. Get this glob right under his mouth here. This one's kind of horrible because he spits out these dark ball things that are actually quite nasty if a lot of them hit you, especially on Proud. See, these things, they wiggle about and try and knock you down, so that's quite mean, but if you just stay there, you don't move too much, then you'll be fine. And right up here we have the very highest glob that you got to destroy. Let me go around the back of Oogie as well, and I do want to try and get up on his head. That'd be kind of funny, I think, so let's try that. Alright, so we jump on his shoulder. Can we get up? Oh, can we get up there? We jump back here. Oh, I found a little ledge. Oh my goodness, we actually get on top of his head. Oh, that's great. But yeah, if we jump down now, I think I missed one glob. There's somewhere down below. Oh, wow, he spat me as soon as I went in front of him. Jeez. Yeah, well, yeah, there it is. It's around here. So you have to, probably best to go to the left here first and then go back right again if you want to do this quickly. And there we go, learn second chance. How nice. And the keyhole for this world is just a giant one on the ground beneath where his mana was, because well, why not, I guess. And that's it for Halloween Town for this game. I really do like this world. I mean, part of that's because I really like Nightmare Before Christmas, just like kind of with Agrabah, but I think Agrabah is a better designed world. This world is small in a lot of ways, like it's not really that big, the area you're in, other than the Oogie's Manor bit. And I feel like the Oogie's Manor bit is the best part of it, right? The platforming and the way it gets destroyed and changed, and you can, I don't know, it's just really cool, that bit. The rest of it, I like the mechanic of moving through graves and it gets you to a different area. I like that you can see some areas from other areas, that's quite cool. But it does feel a bit empty at times, like, I don't know, maybe if there was a bit more of Halloween Town, maybe? Like, other than just this square, maybe if you could go inside, maybe the hall? I don't know if that would really be necessary, but I'm just thinking because there's so many different, like, colourful characters here in the film. And here in the game, we only get to really see Finkelstein, Sally, Jack, Zero, and the mayor. And Oogie, of course. It'd be kind of fun if we could see, like, maybe the vampires or the witches or that campy devil or I don't know, just some of the others might be kind of nice. Oh, and the kids, we get to see the kids, of course, as well. All the main ones are here, but that's just a sign of the age that this game is. But despite that, I really like the aesthetic here. I love the skyboxes. I love the screen effects that they have. Costumes are great. The actual design's fairly nice, like the connectivity of it's decent. Be nice maybe if there was a few more puzzles scattered around the actual Halloween Town part rather than just Oogie's Manor where most of it seems to be. But otherwise, a pretty good world, one of the better ones in the game. I mean, better than some of the ones I've got coming up, oh boy. I mean, they're not bad, but, you know, Monster is next. That's going to be interesting because it's very small, it's smaller than this, and there's not really a lot to look at, so. And then the same sort of thing with Neverland, that's kind of small as well. And Atlantica's just confusing, man. Atlantica just confuses me, more than Monster does. But yeah, that's it for this Halloween episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.